Welcome to today's information session. My name is Ben Gibson and I'm the General Manager of Premier Tax and Bookkeeping. Now, I'll refer to Premier Tax and Bookkeeping as PTB from here on. I'm going to provide some initial introductory information for you today, and my presentation will be followed by one of our tax agents, Shan Pasupathy, who will step you through some of the technical detail and processes that you need to be familiar with. So just to recap, Premier Tax and Bookkeeping, PTB, are registered tax agents, accredited accountants, licensed ASIC agents, and accredited mortgage brokers. Our accreditations are with the ATO, with ASIC, the Tax Practitioners Board, the Institute of Public Accountants, Institute of Financial Accountants, and the Mortgage and Finance Association of Australia. We have industry partnerships with Xero, MyUp and QuickBooks, and we have clients who are both individuals and businesses in all states and territories. Our services comprise taxation, business registration, home loan, mortgage broker services, and accounting services. And our offices are in South Australia, Victoria, and New South Wales. This particular opportunity for bookkeepers is to provide taxation services under the supervision of our registered tax agents to obviously earn additional income by providing these taxation services to individuals and businesses with support provided by our consultants, and if relevant, to progress your career by working towards the Tax Practitioner Board tax agent registration experience requirements. Now, moving on from these topics, let me talk to you about fees and payments, which is particularly relevant, no doubt. Now, as I said, Shan will take you through some of the technical detail and processes. At this stage, I can say to you that income tax returns that you prepare, or BASs, would be followed by you creating an invoice in Xero Practice Manager or XPM and emailing this invoice to the client for payment. Clients will have the option of paying their invoices via bank transfer or credit card using details which are provided at the bottom of the invoice. The fees from refund option is not available, and in relation to the invoice amount, you would receive 60% excluding GST, and that amount would be paid to you fortnightly. As I indicated earlier, we are a mortgage broker, so you also have the option to receive loan referral commissions. We're a mortgage broker with the major 4 banks in Australia, along with 20 other banks. And you would have the option of referring a client or any other individual to us who is seeking a new home loan, refinancing, possibly an investment property or business loan. It's a simple referral, primarily around the name of the client and their contact details. And that process will be explained to you a little later. If, as a result of that referral, the bank approves the client loan, you would receive a minimum of $500 or 50% of the upfront referral commission that we receive. You would receive the higher amount if it's a minimum of $500 for any loan, and potentially higher if that commission represents 50% of the commission that we would receive up front. Of particular relevance at the moment is in this loan arena is refinancing, because many households find that their current fixed rate interest period is ending and are looking to refinance and get the best available deal in the market. You can also receive commissions for business registration services. We're an ASIC approved agent and can set up business structures, including sole traders, partnerships, companies, family trusts, and corporate trusts. And you can assist a client to register a new business by using our website. And in relation to business registration, you would receive 50% of the total business registration fees invoice, excluding GST and any applicable ASIC fees. In terms of the fees that are payable to you, whether that's from taxation services, loan referrals, business registration, they would be processed every fortnight and deposited in your nominated bank account, and a recipient created tax invoice would also be emailed to you each fortnight. Let me talk to you a little bit about marketing. PTB undertakes national marketing. However, you have the option, if you wish to choose to do so, to promote the services you can offer to your social contacts, friends and community contacts. And you would be able to do that using social media, email and or SMS messages. To assist you to do that and to ensure that any marketing we undertake is compliant, you'll be provided with customised social media images and approved content to use in any promotion you may elect to undertake. And importantly, we are not paying you for any marketing activity or time you spend on marketing unless you have pre-approval for that activity in writing. Finally, from me, if you'd like a PTB business card, you have that option. Just email us at admin@taxbook.com.au. These are optional, as with other marketing activity, and any costs associated with those business cards are not reimbursed by us. So, as I indicated, Sean Pasupathy, who is a tax agent with PTB, will now take you through some of the technical detail and processes, and I'll hand over to Sean. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sean Pasupathy, one of the registered tax agent at Premier Tax and Bookkeeping, known as PTP, and I'm also one of the director at PTP. So I'm here to continue with the information sessions. Thank you, Ben, your first intro. I'm going to use that number of screen, going to share with you guys that I will first start with that PowerPoint, which is going to be shared in a second. Right, we'll start with the income tax preparations or best preparations. So as in the first part, you must have I'm turning this on here, I am with the two screens. Set up the MyGov ID. So you already received your income tax preparation guidelines. Using that guidelines, you should set up a MyGov ID. The MyGov ID is different from MyGov account. The MyGov ID used for that to accessing online service for agents, one of the ATO platform, which is previously we called them tax agent portal. Now we call online service for agents. So without access this particular platform, you cannot work with the income tax return or BAS for our clients. So step one, set up your MyGov ID, then advise us by email. Then we will send you we will request to that our RAM to give you access. So when we send this email, you will get an email like this, and I will share the screen in a second. What's the email? Right, so maybe this one. If you see that, we may be able to see. So you will receive this email. So this will be an authorization request. When you receive that email, copy this one and click this authorization manager, and then I will share the screen in a second. Yeah. So if you can see that, give me a minute. So you are able to see that my screen. I will go back to here, authorized relationship manager. When your relationship manager is, 1 second, I will make sure that the recordings happen. Yep. So that's you can log into this one. I will use that my phone to that give that access. Right. So now when it is go to relationship manager, you copy that code, what you have, put it here and submit. When you submit, it will be at, then you have online service for agents like this, right? So how you know that where's the link? That's everything's in the guidelines give you. Then you can go to that online service by agents. You can access all of your clients' details. You can add that new clients, and all the work you can do through the online service by agents. Now I will go back to that in my presentation. I'm sure that you are able to see that. So then second part, the clients allocations. So there are two types of clients you may receive. One is that from our marketing campaign, we allocate the clients based on their location and clients their preferences, or that you may use that your social contacts and your friends and family, you can do the tax return for them, right? No matter where they come from, you can do the tax return for your personal contacts. So how is the clients allocations works? So on that, whoever clients to do the tax returns, they must go through that our website. I will go to that our website in a second. Are you able to see the website, Premier Tax and Bookkeeping, and click the booking portal, and then they click the tax and best agents one. They will provide all this information, and then click these two ticked and submit. What is this about? Without client's permission, we cannot have access to that online service for agents in the tax office portal. Without client's permission, we cannot access any of the information from the tax asset portal. It's a compliance issue. So every single client, so your friends or family, or we allocate the clients, they should go through this process. If our clients come up directly, they already completed this process. If your friends and family, if you want to do the tax return, you must go to this our website and complete these informations. Once you completed this information, you will receive an email from us that's called client allocation email. I will share with you in a second this type of an email. So it will be client allocation. The client details will be here. What the date they prefer to talk with you, all the information will come to you. Without this email, you should not have access to this any of these clients' details in that OSA, online service for agents, which is non-compliance. But so please make sure that you receive this email to prepare the tax return or access that client's details. Now we will go back to that in our screen of that PowerPoint. I'm sure that you are able to see. So the client's allocations are very important. You should not have, when you get the client's access, you can arrange a meeting with the clients in their preferred time and to discuss what is the convenient time, both of you guys, to do the tax returns. Then adding the clients in the next PM. So as I clearly said, without client allocation email, you should not have access to anything in the OSA or XPM. So please don't access anything until you get the client's allocation email. If your friends and family, they apply, if they put that information through our website, within 24 hours, we will email you that information. Then only you can go and add in that online service for agents or in the XPM. So that's a very important. That online access we giving to that OSA, you should not have any other clients. You can only access your clients. Then in the portal, there are thousands or 13,000 clients. You are not going to access any of the details. If in our report show you accessing a client which is not allocated to you, your old access will be removed immediately. We have a report. When we click the report every week, it will come up who accessing what. One report will say this client is not allocated to a tax consultant X, but he have access. Then we will remove all of your access and no more contract with that PTB after that. This is very compliance issue. You only can access your clients. Then prepare the tax returns and BAS. We will go with that interesting part. Income tax returns, so you can go to the next PM and prepare. So however, when you prepare the tax returns, you must comply with income tax legislation and ATO guidelines. So very clearly, we provide this information in our tax preparation guidelines. I will share with you in a second. So if we go here, so in our income tax preparation guidelines, I will move into that. It's very clearly here. What are the instructions? 2022 or 23? It's that everything will be not much difference, but we will update this one. You can see the 2023 within a couple of weeks. So you click this one, each different type of tax returns or BASes, you must comply with the all of these ones, right? So there are some guidelines from the tax office. You should comply with that one to prepare your tax returns. So now we'll go back to that in our PowerPoint. Then the previous year's tax returns, sometime when that clients may be not completed their tax returns the previous year. If they not complete that previous year tax return, you are able to prepare the tax returns from 2014 to 2021. You can lodge through the XPM. If they not lodge before that, you must use that paper form. You can access that one through that our guidelines how to download this one. I will share with you in a minute how you do that previous year tax return. I will share that screen with you guys, and now you can see that in our tax agents folder. So I see that, for an example, this client, you can go here and prepare the tax returns. For example, you are going to prepare 2020. Well, select the client, then select the ITR. You want to like 2017, you can click and create. So up to 2014 to 2023, you can use that XPM to prepare your previous year's tax return. And if you want to before that, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how's that. If you go to here, previous year's tax return. So if you are going to do from 2002 to 2013, click this link. It will go to the tax office website to say each year you can download that particular manual form and complete that form and send it to us by post. Then we are going to that check everything and approve and send it to ATO. Now, next one is the amendment of the tax returns. So you can amend the tax returns so that, 1 second, I will share the screen. Amend the tax returns that if the client lodge something, if they not include some expenses or deductions, or if they not report their income accurately, in that case, they can amend. But the amendment will be only if the company within 4 years of lodgement date. If the individual within 2 years of lodgement date. But to amend it, what the process, you must send an email to us. So what is the reason you want to amend that particular tax return? So when we see that your justification and request for the amendment, it will be approved, then only you can do the amendments. So without valid reason, we cannot do the amendment. So please make sure that you have a valid reason. They do not include some expenses. You have enough evidence. They incorrectly reported their income. You have enough evidence. In that case, you can ask, request to us. When it is approved, you can do that amendment for your clients. So amendment will be a little bit different process than normal tax return. You get the permission from us, then you're going to do the amendments. So as I said, how you know that the 4 years rule for the companies or 2 years rule for individuals work, how you know that previous, when they lodge that previous one. So you are able to check that through the tax agent portal. For example, I am sharing this one, Premier Tax and Bookkeeping. You go to that your tax agent portal and search that client and go to that lodgements. And if you are doing the amendment BAS, click the BAS activity statement. If you are doing the tax return, click the tax return and go to that history. Then click the view details. You can say when they lodge. Receive date is 8th of April. So each tax return, you can go and check that what is the date they lodge that. So this only you can do for your clients, not to other clients, but you can go and see that what the date lodged. From this date, within 4 years for the company, you can amend the tax return. For individual, from this receive date to the within 2 years, you can amend the tax return. So if you go above that period, you cannot do that because tax office not accept. You also not going to accept that one. So now I will go back to that my screen. So that's the amendments. Now we'll come back to the important part is the how that Premier Tax and Bookkeeping work for the tax return and BAS process. We are doing the national marketing and getting some clients. And same time, your friends and family and contacts also will come as a client to us if you wish. And these clients will be allocated to you. So mainly, I will clearly say in our tax consultant, getting the client from their contacts, their community contacts, or their friends, or their family. When it comes to these clients, will be allocated to you based on that. If your personal clients will be allocated to you. If it is a PTP clients, we allocate based on the residential locations and personal contacts. All of your family members or friends or community contacts will be allocated to you regardless of where they're coming from. So you get the client, and sometimes you will get the client from us as well. So then you are going to add them in our tax agent portal or OSA and create the clients in the XPM and pre-fill the details and prepare the tax returns and generate the invoice. When the client paid that invoice, you send it to that, click the button called complete. When you click the complete button, it will go to that senior tax consultant to process that, check that all of your work. If it is any help need, they will provide that support to you, some tax rules, so zero technical. If it is non-compliance, they will ask you to provide more evidence or more information. When they approve, it's go to that tax agent. Then registered tax agent look into that. He will again see if any non-compliance. They will return back to you. If it is not, it will go to ATO. And ATO will process and refund or payment notice will be sent to the clients. That's the way in our tax return process work, right? Now we will move into the substantiation requirements. Doing the tax returns, evidence is important. You must upload all the relevant evidence, required evidences in our XPM. So I'm going to show you that how to upload. You have already in the information already in your induction, but anyhow, that's I will just, this is important. I will just show you. So you click your client. When you click your client, it will go to that section. Then you can upload all the required evidences in this area. So click the documents. When you click the documents, it will come up. You put that what is the 2021 tax returns, right? Then select the file. And for example, this one, and upload, right? So then we are uploading here. So when you upload it, you can see here that particular documents, right? I'm going to delete this one because it's not necessary now. So you must upload all the substantiation documents. So what kind of substantiation documents you require? We are going to talk now. So the step one, you must have a taxpayer's photo ID. Right, so all the taxpayers, when you are doing the tax return, you must have a taxpayer's photo ID, all the individuals. That may be passport, that may be driving license. Any business tax return, if you do, whoever authorized representative, the director, owner, or trustee, or partner, their ID should be uploaded into the sections. So all the individual tax return, individuals one. If you are doing the business tax return, you must get it who is authorized representative going to sign that particular tax return. Their ID should be photo it and upload in the document sections. Then we will come back to the written evidence. Written evidences are important for all of your income and expenses, right? So all of the income and expenses supported by written evidences, right? Not only just the expense, you must prove that the income also accurate. So income will be substantiated. Normally, individual income tax return, very easy. When you click ATO pre-filling, all the information will come through that. If you if it is not come through that, you must prove that through the bank statement. So business tax returns, normally we rely on the bank statement to see how much the income. So how you going to do the pre-filling? So I will just go to that, back to that in our side. And we will see this tax returns. So you can see the little 3 dots in the side and click on that online pre-fill, right? Go to that your tax return in that your right hand top corner, there are little 3 dots and click that online pre-fill. So it will be automatically work that particular come up everything. So what are the information you will get it from the pre-fill, right? It's saying that unable to pre-fill. What is the reason unable to pre-fill? This is the test clients, right? So if pre-fill work for not clients, so what you can do, you can go to here and search the client and get it, and then go to profile and click the main authorization and check everything's okay. So sometime it will be like this. In that case, your income tax return detail will be not pre-filled. So make sure that everything will be right. Then click that both dots and save. Then go back to and pre-fill. It will work, right? So no any reason not to work. So information you are receiving from the pre-filling. So salaries and so wages, all this stuff up to 12 normally pre-fill. This pre-fill will have a little time, that's the reason we are doing the tax return not the first week of July. It may take 1 week for all the employers and banks and companies report to ATO. So within 1 or 2 weeks time, this pre-fill work perfectly. So you can get it through the pre-fill all the information. For an example, if a client say, hey, I have the bank interest, it's not come through to here, you must wait a couple of weeks or 1 week at least from the July, right? So that's a pre-fill information. You are getting that all the information from that tax office. If it is not included, you're going to do manually or waiting for ATO to update that pre-fill information. Expenses, you need to have a tax invoice or similar document to prove that expenses. Most of the time, client will come and say, I have that my bank statement say this much I paid. That's not enough because that's not going to say what kind of service, what kind of goods they purchase. Bank statement in the line say this much of amount for this person. That's not enough to substantiate. So you should have a tax invoice. Who is the supplier? What is the amount? What is the date this purchase? And all the information is required for any expenses you to substantiate, right? So individual income tax returns, all the work-related expenses, you should have invoices and the payment receipts, unless in your total deduction D3, D4, D5 not exceed $300. If you are not exceeding $300, your D3, D4, and D5, that's fine. You no need to have a written evidence. So which one, D1, D2, D3? I will share the screen. If you go to the deductions, D3, D4, D5, together total is less than $300. You no need to have written evidence, right? You no need to have a written evidence for D3, D4, and D5. Now I talk about that your car expense deductions. So the car expenses deduction, if you want to deduct for your client, so that first they want to be eligible for car expense deduction. You all know that travel between work to home is not going to be considered as a work-related travel and you cannot deduct unless. So normally the work-related travel in generally, if you're a client traveling from one workplace to other workplace, or client traveling number of different workplaces, or client traveling for alternative workplace, or client traveling with the bulky tools, or client traveling with that traveling for that meeting, not normal workplace. In that type of time, yes, your car expenses can be deductible. If it is a car expense, if you want to deduct, there's two methods. You can use the cents per kilometer method or logbook method. If you're using the cents per kilometer method, maximum kilometer you can climb 5,000. If you go more than $5,000, that same amount will be same. You see how much they can climb? 3,600. Even if you put it 10,000, right? 10,000, same 3,600. So cents per kilometer method, if you use, that client should write an email to you and saying that how he reached that particular kilometers, right? So I travel 3 days a week, this much of kilometer. We don't want that Excel sheet or anything, but they want to give us a letter saying that this is the way I arrived 2,545 kilometer, right? Then if the audit come up, they are liable for that one, right? We not decide this one. So the client should provide you some sort of written communication saying that this much of kilometer I travel for my work later, not just home to work travel, right? Very clear. So in that case, that's the evidence for cents per kilometer method. If they want some more climb, if they want to use the logbook method, they must provide all the Medicare vehicle expenses. If they're using the cents per kilometer, no need. If they're using the logbook method, they can put the insurance and interest and especially depreciation and all this stuff. They must provide all the written evidence. It means invoices for these expenses. Plus, they must provide us a logbook to say what the percentage of their business use, right? So the logbook and all these expenses must be uploaded into the system for card deduction for the logbook method. So entirely up to them which method they are using. They must, if they use the cents per kilometer method, very easy. They can explain how they reach that kilometer. If they want to the logbook method, they must provide the logbook. They must provide that all the receipts relevant to that. But that when you go back to that, so depreciation, they must provide that particular car purchase invoice. Please note that if a client use the immediate deduction rule for the depreciation, they cannot do the depreciation here because it's already depreciated, right? It's very clear, I think. So I will go back to that in my original screen now. Substantiation requirements, right? So you must have a logbook. So I very clearly explained the logbook should be uploaded with that all the invoices. If so, travel cents per kilometer, you should explain how you reach that particular kilometer. If now we will move into the rental property. Most of our clients have a rental property. If they have a rental property, you must report that income and expenses through the rental property schedule. So I will show you in a minute how you're going to do that. So if you go to that one, so you see this is that particular client, click on the new schedule and click a rental. It will come up. So each property you should have a separate. You can add that more and more worksheet like that. You can see here 3 now. If you click 4, it will be 4. So then go and complete all of the information here. And most of these properties are owned jointly with the husband and wife. In that case, for example, husband 60%, the wife 40%. You can put their information and put that here 40%. So then it will be shared between that. You're going to use the first column. So that's all this information will be available how to complete through that your intro training. Now, what exactly I want to explain that if it is that you are going to enter in that in this column, right? Not my share column. For example, if you put $20,000, it will your share based on the percentage is a 60. It's a 60%. I will put that is 50. It will be 50%, right? So you are going to cross line. You're going to complete. Now, what exactly I just want to see here? What kind of evidence you should have? So all the rental income must be. There are 2 ways. One that agent management with the agent statement. That's the evidence for that all the income. If the client say no, I manage myself, then you should ask their bank statement and total up how much the total income that should be included. If the client say no, that my tenant did not deposit in that case, that the bank is giving by cash, then you should ask them their rental agreement rental tenancy agreements. Then you will multiply by that amount and calculate how much it is. So you have 3 different type of evidence for the rental income. One for agent's statement or that client's bank statement. If it is both failed, you're going to ask that rental agreements. Then you calculate. So these 3 can be used as evidence for the income. All the expenses you are putting here, you must have purchase receipt or purchase invoice to show that expenses. When you are doing that depreciation, you should have a depreciation schedule, or if your new asset purchase, the purchase receipt of the assets. So that's the rental property. Now we will move into that capital gain. If your client sold that some investment property or their shares, that will come as a capital property. You use that a capital gain worksheet. Click this worksheet. I will go and click that capital gain. So new worksheet will come up. Every asset you are selling, all the different one property, you're going to do that one. For example, you are selling a first property, put that address here, whatever address, then work it out. Then you're going to put that what is the sales price here. But importantly, you must give that all the expenses here. What is the purchase price of the property? What is that sales commission you paid? What is that improvement you made? All the expenses should be listed here and all should be substantiated. So your sales and that your expenses should be substantiated to do the capital gain calculations, right? If you use the sheets, for example, second property or shares, you're going to click that one more, use the shares, right? So that's one. Or that other investment property, click one. So all this capital gain worksheet will be linked with that income section in that under the capital gain. It will come up here. So if you go to that in your capital gain section 18, you can see it will come up for each worksheet what you work, it will move into here. So it's easy. At the same time, I did not say when you do that your rental. So in your rental property income will be fall into in that same way as capital gain under the rent. You can see here that I put that 20,000. So how many property you have, you can see the net rent amount. So that 21 and that 18 link with that this worksheets. So now I will go back to that our substantiation requirements. Share the screen. So rental statement I clearly explained, and for the especially the share trading, you can download that share statement or dividend statement or share trading, that there's an online platform nowadays. They will provide that all the shares, what the price we purchase, what the price they sales, how much the commission they charged, and all this information. We must use that one and upload in the document sections as a evidence for the capital gain. So rental property and capital gains are very important for the evidence purpose. Now we will come back to that business tax returns and business activity statement. When you do the business tax returns, especially, you should have a financial statement, including profit and loss statement and balance sheet. If you're doing that best, you must have a detailed worksheet, detailed GST report, not the summary GST, right? The detailed GST report, most of you guys are accountants, you know that what the detailed GST report means. Each transaction should say how much amount, how much GST, what is the net amount. That's called detailed GST report should have for the BAS statement. Without profit and loss statement for the business tax return or that BAS for the detailed worksheet, we will not process that particular tax return or BAS. So you should have one of this evidence for as a substantiation. Then we will review your tax return or your financial statement or detailed worksheet. If it is anything neat, we will ask you, because invoice and bills, they have thousands of invoices and bills business have. We no need to look into that each and every invoices. We will look into that your detailed worksheet, or we will look into that your profit and loss statement, and then we will ask you the particular bill or invoice as a sample check to make sure that we are compliant. Then we will ask for 5 or 6 different invoices. When you send it, everything's okay, that will go ahead. So you no need to upload any bills or invoices for business tax return until we ask, right? So only you should upload all of your financial reports, and if it's the best, detailed worksheet of GST. So if the businesses sales over $75,000 turnover, they must have one of that accounting software. So we are not accepting the clients with over 75,000 without accounting software for their accounting, processing their transactions. So they can use any kind of software, MyOp or Xero or QuickBook or any other software, but they must give that access to us as accountant and to you as well. So that's depend on the software. We will give you an email address. They will add as accountant. So we will review their bank reconciliation and general ledgers and make sure that they prepared the financial statement accurately. Without giving the access, we will not going to be submit their tax return. So please make sure that the business with that over 75,000, they must have a accounting software access to prepare the tax return. If they want one, for an example, a client with 100,000 turnover, small trading, he did not have that the accounting software, we can arrange that one with the cheapest one like QuickBook, $10 or $15 per month. We can upload all of their bank statement in that one and reconcile everything and prepare the financial reports. So there's a possibility as well. So we can support to them. If the client with that less than 75,000, they say, no, we have no accounting software, it's very expensive for us, then okay, So you can use that in our PTP template and prepare the financial statement or GST detail worksheet. And together you must upload PDF and CSV version of their bank statement in that section. Then we will look into that PTB that what you prepared. So please make sure that if when you prepare the financial report, you can charge them additional to them if they have no accounting software. So charge that's entirely for you and client. So when it is when you submit that your prepare financial reports, we will check with the bank statements, and if you want any other additional information, we will ask you. Right, so that's the way the clients with the less than 75,000 works. So all these templates will be available. You can access through the guidelines portal. Now we will come back to the support and assistance. So I will start with the completing the tax return. So when you click that complete your tax return, I will share the screen in a minute. You'll go back to that here. You finish that all the work and you create the tax invoice for your client. So how to create the tax invoice for your client? Click here and click on here and click on the zero tax invoice. Please note that there are two options to you, but you are going to click the zero tax invoice. I will show you in a minute how I can show you. Yeah. So I think I should go back. My apology. So if you go to that your client, click on the new button and then click zero invoice, not the invoice, zero invoice. Then it's the client that it will come up. You can see in the item there are difference. So for example, if you prepare a tax return for individual without business income, ITR, so we will see here. So whatever amount you put it, and you can approve and send the email, click and pay. When it is client paid, only you are going to complete the tax return. Without client paying that tax return, completing the fees, we will not review any of the work. So when the clients paid their fees, what you are going to do, you are going to click that complete button, right? So before you are invoicing, you can click the validate button. When it validate, there are two steps will come up. One ATO warning, other one errors, right? If it's the error, you cannot complete. You see, when you complete, still gets so as I say. So first fix all the errors what you have. When you click here, there's all the errors one by one. The postcode is wrong. So click the postcode and change that like that. So you are going to validate all of them, right? So this is the validation part. When you validate it, you create the tax invoice and complete make sure that client is paid. Then you click that complete button. So when it is completed, it will come to us here. All right. You can see that will be moving to here. Then your tax supervisor or tax consultant will review and they approve that, move into approved column. When this approved, we will send to the client to sign. That will go to that signature column. When it's here, you can see that all this one we send it, client did not back to us. If it's the client's back, it will come as a return. Right? If it's a return mean client already signed. Then we will say check again and then file to that ATO that will be submitted and go to file. Anything if it is come to the file, what's the meaning? This client's already filed. Then you can go to the tax agent portal and check that what is the progress of that particular client, right? So if you go to that tax return and history, and see that's approved or not. If it is say here processed, that's approved by tax office. Then you can go to the tax account and click the tax account and see where is that tax returns, right? So that where's that tax returns paid or not. So you can see the date of refund. This is the date that they will be refunded. EFT mean refund. So this refund at 24th May 2022. So you want to make sure if the client asks, where's my tax return? You can use this in our tax return platform, right? Where it is, in this one, or 1 second, guys, right? So you can see this one and see where it is the progress, or you can go back to here in the tax office and check that in the tax account when the refund will come up. But please make sure that you paid the tax agent, that the client is paid before you click that complete button, right? So on that support, So when you validate it, sometimes you cannot resolve the problem, or you want some support from that when you prepare the tax return. You can go to ATO website. There are a huge amount of resources. You can check that and sort it out yourself. If you can't, we have a special line for you that we activate you as our tax consultant. You are able to contact tax office, a special line, so which information available in your 2023 guidelines. You call to ATO and say, I'm representative of PTB tax agents. Our number is 257-26570. When you put it that number, that what is the next step? They will ask you a fast code key. When they ask the fast code key, that information also available in your guidelines, but I'm going to share with the screen in a second. So if you go to that screen, so I said, okay, this one, tax agent phone services, the phone number you can see. For an example, if you are talking about that activity statement, click on that activity statement, you call to this number, right? That's your calling number for that tax office and us. And you can say what is the fast code key. Within 2-3 minutes time, you can connect. You no need to wait to half an hour or 1 hour, the usual calls. So immediately they will provide, but please make sure that you are calling to these clients, calling to this line if you can't resolve through the ATO website. If you have any issue with that, you are zero practice manager. So what you can do, you can see there's a question mark. Click this question mark and click the contact support and provide all the information, what the issue you have with the zero. They will come back to you within 2 to 3 hours time normally, right? Or otherwise, you can go to this what you call question button and click the zero central and type your issues, what you have. You can get that support that, most of this reading, how to resolve this problem. So one of the very important things when I talk about this, the tax agent portal help from the tax office, you can only contact to that support the clients allocated to you. You cannot call to that line with any generic information what you want. So that's a very clear, because that will be recorded with the tax office. If you call to that clients not allocated to you, most probably you are in non-compliance with the PTP and tax office as well, right? So therefore, please call only that allocated clients. When you call to that ATO will ask you to a document ID to prove that client is you are working on. So how you can, what does the document ID mean? Go to that particular client. I selected this client and select that lodgements. So whatever client, you can click any client, right? So whatever client you are working on, I'm just clicking Premier Tax Bookkeeping as one client. So I'm going to click one of the other client. So Premier Property Development, for example. So if you click that one, then go to here and activity statement or that or that tax return, so whatever. So you can see here document ID in the down. So you can say this is the document ID. Then what happened? They will identify you. That client is allocated to you. They will work on that. So please make sure that don't call to ATO anyone not allocated to you. Sometime a new client, you cannot see any tax return or that activity statement. You can see from the history as well. It's a new client. In that case, what you can do, you can go to profile and click that communication history. Then click one of the ATO document, for example, TFN notification, and go to that, open this PDF, and there will be a reference number, document ID. Then the ATO will start to talk with you. Without identify the client, that tax office is not going to assist you any matters. So please make sure that you are calling clients later to that allocated client. Now, zero support, I work with that one. So if you can't resolve your problem through that ATO website or ATO support line or zero support, you can email us admin@taxbook.com.au. When you send that email, we will back to you by email, or we will give you a call, or we will arrange a meeting with you, depending on what kind of issues. Some of the issues we want to really discuss with you through the Zoom. We will arrange a meeting with you. We will explain to you how to resolve that. What is the support you required will be provided. So that's thank you for your time, and we are almost end of that information session. And so good luck with your tax consultancy work with the Premier Tax and Bookkeeping. We are here to support you, and we will work together. Thank you very much.